The impact tore through metal and bone. Glass shattered like ice. Screams vanished into silence. Then, nothing. In January 2025, Daniel woke up in a hospital bed. His body was bruised and broken. The world around him felt silent and wrong. The quiet cut deeper than the pain. He didn't know yet what he'd lost. The hospital felt cold and sterile, but alive with people. Or so it seemed. Nurses moved through the halls, checking his chart. Their uniforms were crisp. Their eyes were kind, but distant. Other patients passed by slowly, pale and quiet. Some spoke to him. Some even smiled. They called him by name. They seemed real. But something felt off. Lights flickered like they were struggling to stay lit. Footsteps echoed from nowhere. And sometimes he heard whispers, soft and warped, like voices from underwater. He asked for Sarah, then for Emily, his wife and daughter. No one came. No outlines in the doorway. No movement behind the curtains. Just emptiness. But he felt them. A brush of air across his cheek. A flicker of warmth by his side. A sob, barely there. A child's laugh, quick and distant. When he reached out, there was nothing. Just air. Cold. Heavy. Wrong. He told the nurses, the ones he could see, that something wasn't right. They listened, frowning slightly. Their eyes looked glassy, like they were hiding something. They told him he was recovering, that the crash had been bad. He told the doctors too. But their voices were muffled, hard to hear. He never saw their faces. Just the feel of hands adjusting tubes, pens scratching paper. They gave him pills. He heard the words, trauma and delusions, but they felt far away. Only the vivid ones seemed real. One nurse with hollow cheeks leaned close and said the words that stuck. They're not here. They're gone. After that, the faces changed. They came first in dreams, standing among twisted metal and broken wood. A fog hung around them. Behind it all was that old oak tree from the crash site, its branches stretching wide. The people in his dreams weren't right. Their faces were too smooth, too still. A man's eyes were missing. A woman's smile was too wide. A child stared through him like she already knew everything. They called themselves the Lost. They said they'd all died on that same road. The one with the bent guardrail and the split in the earth. They said Daniel had died too. And he believed them. They felt more solid than the hospital, more grounded than the flickering lights or the vanishing voices. One of them, a man with burned hands, told him he'd crossed over, that he belonged there now. They warned him not to listen to the voices, not Sarah's sobs, not Emily's laughter. Those were tethers, they said, not love, not memory, just chains pulling him back to pain. Another, young, with lips pale as ash, told him he had to let go. That freedom meant silence. So Daniel stopped taking the pills. The voices sharpened. Sarah's was clearer now, begging him to come home. Emily's came through in pieces. "Daddy, please, don't go." The touches returned too, a warmth on his arm, a breath on his neck. The Lost were always nearby, watching from reflective surfaces. The fourth bag, the tray, the mirror above the sink, cracked through the center. They never blinked, never moved, only waited. They told him the road was cursed, that something old fed on grief there, that they had been trapped, held by those same tethers until they broke them. Now it was his turn. Daniel said the right things, smiled at the nurses, talked about going home, about healing. The doctors, the ones he still couldn't see, called it progress. In March 2025, they sent him home. But the house felt wrong. Dust coated everything. The air was thick. Sarah's scent was gone. Emily's toys were frozen in place, untouched for weeks. The warmth that once filled the rooms had drained out. The lost were there too, standing in corners. Silent. Still. Their reflections clearer than ever in the broken windows. One of them, a woman with gray eyes, told him the truth. This isn't home. It's a cage. They're keeping you here. He heard Sarah's voice again, software calling his name. Felt Emily's hand slip against his, warm and trembling. But he still couldn't see them. Only the lost. And the lost were so clear. They told him to break the tethers or be trapped forever. That night, he followed the whispers. He walked the house slowly, the lost moving with him. Their faces were calm now, approving. The air shifted, warm, close, like Sarah had just been there. He felt her. He reached out, hands shaking. The lost nodded, and he broke the tether. There was no sound, only weight. Something falling. Then Emily's voice came again, fragile, off-key. He whispered that it would be over soon, that they'd be free. He broke her tether too. His hands were steady now, even as tears ran down his face. A sound followed, not a whisper. A thud. Something heavy hitting the floor. The lost smiled. Then they disappeared. The lights came on, blinding and cold, and the silence was broken by screaming. Real voices this time. Living. Raw. Full of horror. Daniel blinked, disoriented, as hands pulled him from the room, pulled him away from the house. He smiled. He was ready to leave, ready for the lost to lift him up, to thank him, to welcome him home. But nothing came. Only sirens, only shouting, only the bright, sharp edge of the real world. The trial didn't take long. By July 2025, the evidence was overwhelming. The bodies, the blood. Daniel's own words. He said he thought he was setting them free. The court called it murder. Now he sits in a padded cell. No reflections, no corners. Nothing to see, nothing to hold on to. The lost are gone, but the whispers have returned. Sarah's sobs, quiet and distant. Emily's giggle, stretched and strange. A warmth brushes his arm again, brief. Gone before he can feel it fully. He begs them to stop. Then they give him a photo. Sarah and Emily, smiling, whole, alive. Taken just weeks before the crash. The picture cuts through him like a blade. They were real. They were there. He hadn't seen them, hadn't heard them. Only the lost. He believed the wrong ones, and he destroyed everything. He wasn't dead. Not then. But he is now. He screams until his voice gives out. The whispers grow louder. The warmth feels closer, but never enough to reach. They're still out there, still trying to be seen. And if you ever find yourself driving down that lonely road, near the old oak where the earth splits and the air feels too thin, don't listen to the voice calling your name. Don't reach for the hand you think you feel. Don't trust the ones who say they're like you. And whatever you do, don't break the tethers.